Hello fellow rock crawlers and RCers. Welcome back to my HB-P1003 modified videos. And today I'm going to be talking about the steering servo and the steering in general. One of the main areas that you'll find with these cars when you buy them in their stock, they're in their stock form, is the standard steering servo on the front here, and it really is poor quality. The manufacturer that make these cars, it almost seems as though it was their first effort of making their own in-house servo to go on the front of these cars, because they really are noisy. They're a bit glitchy. I've even heard some people on YouTube saying that they've used their stock cars and the standard servo has only lasted half an hour before it strips the gears or it packs up. And as you probably realise now, I got my car and I bought all the modified upgrades which I wanted to do to it, all more or less at the same time. Basically because I wanted to upgrade it right from day one. So I never really got a lot of use out of my standard servo. I think they're okay. They do the job that they're supposed to do, but if you want to take your rock crawling a little bit more serious, then the steering servo on them really isn't very good. Anyway, what I did was I got this. It's a standard servo. It's not an upgraded one or anything like that. It's not a waterproof one or anything like that. If I want something like that, then I can always change it and get myself a better one at a later date. But this is just a standard Hobby King servo. I think it was about £12 on eBay, something like that. And what I did was I removed the 4 or 5 screws that hold the standard servo on, got rid of that, and you're left with 3 or 4 little posts on the top of the front axle housing here where the standard servo connected to it. And I just got a pair of side cutters, wire cutters, and snipped off those posts as flush as I could, rubbed them down smooth, and that gave me a flat area to put this Hobby King servo onto. What I did was I removed the shocks and the link arms from underneath the car, so that the front axle literally was loose and the only thing connecting it was the wire from the motor. Then, obviously with the wheels removed as well, if you remove the screws that hold the 2 halves of the front axle together, the top half lifts off, and in the bottom half you'll see the axle shaft and the sprockets and the cogs in the front diff, so to speak. Put that to one side, so you just got the top half of the axle housing, and then very carefully I lined up where the servo had to go, and I drilled 2 holes, just one side, one the other side, so that I could put my servo posts onto these holes and put screws in from underneath, which is all I did. And then the servo mounts onto these posts like it would do in a conventional RC car for the steering servo. I did have, you'll see on the previous photos, the couple of shorter videos that I did right at the beginning, the standard link arm was on here, but my positioning of the servo was a little bit off, which I wasn't too worried about at the time. But what I did was I got them in a pair, these link arms, and you can get them in various sizes, and with the ball knuckle joint socket removed out of this end, it goes directly in place of where the standard link arm goes with the original screw in the top. So that was no problem. And then this end simply connects to the servo like you would expect, just with a screw onto the servo horn. And with a little bit of adjustment, you can get it spot on to wherever you mount your servo, and you can always alter it and make it more accurate on the trim on the transmitter if need be. And that was as simple as that. It wasn't difficult to do really, it was all fairly straightforward. Yes, it does seem a bit strange when you're cutting these bits off the standard servo and all that sort of thing. If you want to go to that much trouble, you can do. I mean, I felt as though I had to do it because I was used to using servos of, you know, a better quality, and the standard one to me was just used to make too much noise. It really did make a lot of noise. Eventually I will put on a bigger link on the bottom here as well. By the way, inside this housing here, when you open the two halves of the front axle housing, you will see that there is two little plastic arms connected onto a spring that also connect onto this main steering link arm here, that when where it travels through the center here. And basically all that does is it's a centralizer. It just centralizes the steering back straight again on the spring, and it's an aid basically for the stock servo. But of course, without the stock servo there, you don't need that in there. So I took all that out of the inside of this, and I'm just left with this big long link arm that just goes through the middle there, and it moves freely now, not being connected to anything else, just like you would expect to find on an ordinary steering setup on an ordinary RC car. So the whole lot now works like you would expect, and that is it. That's basically it for my front steering servo conversion. Like I say, this is a standard servo, it's not an expensive one. I didn't want an expensive one because this is a budget build after all. But if you've got any questions about it or anything like that, then please put them in the comments below, and I'll try and get back to you and answer as many as I can. There we are. I hope I covered everything for you on the steering servo, and I will say goodbye for now, and look forward to doing the next video, which I should imagine will be the electronics, the ESC, speed control, my battery and receiver and stuff like that. Bye for now.